About a month ago, I went in for surgery, and I can say at this point I'm healed past the point of needing painkillers. I had two things done during the procedure. The first was septoplasty, essentially reconstructing the inside of my nose to fix a deviated septum, and we won't be focusing on that in this video today. The second was a facelift to adjust my lower left eyelid. If you were to ask my insurance why the second one was needed, they'd tell you it's because it affects my sleeping and potentially could damage my eyesight. But if you were to ask me, I'd say it's almost entirely cosmetic. In many ways, the healing process has been liberating. I breathe better now than I have in 15 years. When I look in the mirror, I like what I see better than I used to. And for the last few years on Zoom calls, I used to tilt my head slightly to the left so they wouldn't see my droopy eye. I used to introduce myself with quote, quote, my best side, and shy away from showing the other side of my face. I felt like Two-Face. One side of me beautiful and aspirational, the other scarred and damaged. In many ways, my personality as a kid reflected that as well. Most people don't pay attention and wouldn't even notice, but for me, this was the glaring, permanent fixture of monsterhood that flagged to passerbys that I was indeed a freak beyond any assistance. I've spent most of my life feeling like Frankenstein's monster when I look in the mirror, and having the cognitive dissonance of people not noticing what I see was simultaneously validating and concerning. I almost wanted people to see this monstrous side of me. My partner Belle once said, "It would have been easier for you if it was more obvious." I think she's right. What I realize now, however, is that after looking in the mirror and seeing for the first time in so long something I actually wanted to see, sure, it was healing and feels good that I don't have to think about this anymore, but it's also made me question it. Did I really need this part of the surgery? No, it's just cosmetic. Was there anything actually monstrous about me? No, there wasn't. But the persistence of my so-called droopy eye was an indication that I might be. Was I beautiful and attractive before this surgery? Yes, I was, and all my previous partners have claimed that to be true. Was I better off not having the surgery? So far, I don't know. I think I blamed a lot of my incapacitations on that stupid eyelid. I didn't expect my problems to go away after it was quote-quote fixed, but there was something attached to it, more spiritual in nature, that held me back from a true self. I thought maybe the eyelid was part of the reason I didn't feel attractive. Maybe it was part of the reason I felt so lonely, like I couldn't connect with people, like I couldn't maintain relationships. Maybe the eyelid was at fault. Maybe once it went away, so might the thoughts and feelings surrounding it. But instead, when I look in the mirror, sure, I feel good about how I look, but it's only solved the surface area of the puzzle. Now I look at myself and I just think, why? Why did I hold myself back for so long? Why did I use how I looked as a crutch for not developing as a person? Why did I crave to feel attractive so badly? Why did I care? To some degree, the monstrous Frankenstein face was like a character trait in a comic book, a jumping off point for people. One time I told a friend that I think people open up to me more often because they see the scars on my face. He said it's like an open wound. And he was right. It was an open wound. Most strangers play gentle with the wounded. Most strangers find it safe to talk about their vulnerabilities with them. And so I found myself in a position where the only connections I was making were that of listening and giving advice to the people around me. There were only a few people in my life who genuinely enjoyed my presence outside of my value to them as some sort of peer-aged therapist, and there are still only a few. And so I'm in this position now where I look in the mirror and I ask, why did I need this procedure? And the only answer I can come up with is to show myself that I didn't actually need it. That I was more capable than I ever thought that I was. I don't find solace in this thought. In fact, I think it tortures me. That maybe all this time I had held back potential because I was leaning on a crutch I didn't need. Now I look forward in the future only to find the fog ahead has cleared, And this has shown me that it was never actually about how I looked, and in that revelation lies more complexities, an attempt at understanding myself more authentically beyond the facade of a wounded child. Now, at least, I can live my life not wondering what if. I know the answer to that question now. A chapter is closed here. I don't really feel attractive or beautiful at the moment. It doesn't matter how many people love me, how many people flirt with me, how many people validate this worry I have. I used to think my hunger for compliments was just insatiable, but I realize now I don't have that hunger at all. I just want to feel beautiful. I don't need people to tell me that I am. In many ways, I know what's best for me, but 25 years of conditioning is hard to let go of. A lifetime of feeling like a monster doesn't go away overnight, and I'm not expecting it to. I want to thank the people around me who took care of me. Belle, you cared for me when I couldn't care for myself, and I'm eternally grateful for everything you continue to do for me. I consider myself extremely lucky. To my parents and sibling, AJ, thank you for being there to support me. You've seen me for the long haul. Unfortunately, I don't have answers, and I don't expect to discover them anytime soon. For now, I must be content moving forward with only questions.